The crypto market is shaped by a complex interplay of institutional flows, evolving regulation, and accelerated innovation across verticals. In this video, we will be diving into what are the key drivers behind the recent shifts in market narrative and market mindshare that we have. My name is OP. I'm a prop trader from HashEdge, and I'm here to give you daily crypto market and technical analysis of the overall crypto market space for us to stay ahead of the dumb money and to make money in this highly volatile space where opportunities are rife. Where, like 2 days ago, a trader turned 9,000 to $4 million. It is possible in this space, and I'm here to look at opportunities that presents itself today so that we take advantage of it and we being time sensitive and we create generational wealth. Let's just jump right into the content we have for you today. First, we look at Coinbase hack that was reported yesterday, which was KYC. And what the hackers got was name, addresses, phone, and email. They masked social security, bank account numbers, government ID emails, account data, pretty much all the gamut. This just shows us how centralized institutions in this space are still prone to hacks. And even the biggest crypto company that we have in this space has been hacked. So no one is immune to this. And this comes as Coinbase was just reported to have joined the XRP 500 day before yesterday. This is quite alarming. Anyways, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, responded to allegations directly, also showing something which is quite good, directly speaking to the customers and giving them assurance and building their confidence that they are on top of it. Of course, because the hackers are demanding ransom, but they have turned that around and now they are posting a bond for anyone who could find out these hackers. Let's just listen to a clip of his comments.
Hey everyone, I want to make you aware of a disturbing email that we received recently at Coinbase. It was a ransom note demanding $20 million in Bitcoin in exchange for these attackers not releasing some information they claim to have obtained on our customers. Now, we like to do things transparently here at Coinbase, and so I'm going to respond publicly to these attackers by saying no. We are not going to pay your ransom. In fact, I have a few next steps in mind that I'm going to share at the end of this video. But for the rest of you watching, wondering what happened, we did an investigation here, and these attackers have been approaching our overseas customer support agents, looking for a weak link, someone who would accept a bribe in exchange for sharing some customer information with them. Now, our support tools have limited access to customer information. There was no passwords or...
So this video goes on for, I think, about another minute, but it just gives us an overview of what is going on with Coinbase. And of course, everyone is commenting on this situation. And Bob Lucas is saying, really unacceptable by Coinbase. You absolutely know who you're sitting on the most sought after. You know you are sitting on the most sought after data and you allow support agents to access in bulk. And it's not transparency, it's a first hand. It's been known customers were getting social engineered hacked for months. If there was a better way to hold your crypto, everybody knows this. If there was a better way to hold your crypto, is what? Self-custody. This is what we always preach within the crypto space. Self-custody is best. Always use exchanges, but you have to be careful and you should have multiple exchanges because you cannot trust one main source and one main exchange. And you can see now this news and this attack is coming immediately. SEC is investigating whether Coinbase misstated its user numbers. So now an inquiry is being developed, and this is just giving more scrutiny to Coinbase and the company in general. And you can see Bloomberg is also reporting the Coinbase hack show even cryptos everywhere are at risk. So this just shows us what is going on, and a lot of people are at risk. This is actually a shit show, and we hope it gets sorted soon, quickly. Coinbase has said they would recompense anyone that gets hacked and all of that, and they are coming to everyone's aid. They seem to be on top of the ball right now, which is speaking volumes and speaking good of for them and how they manage, and it's showing the leadership that they have within the Coinbase company itself, and this shows them as a clear leader in this space, and being on top of the ball. It shows a lot of positive moving forward. I hope they get it sorted in time and this doesn't happen moving forward. But for all of us looking at this and paying attention to this news, what is the take home for us? We should be careful, self-custody all the time. Don't put all your assets in one basket, and just be careful who is emailing you. Don't answer to any kind of emails. Don't open any unnecessary kind of links, because you can get hacked. Your crypto is your money, and we are all targeted being in this space because, of course, they know we are future millionaires. So all these hacks, all these nefarious people and nefarious hands want to deal a bad hand for us. We just move on to sovereign wealth, sovereign interest that is being escalating, and sovereign accumulation of Bitcoin. So we can see, looking at this, you can see a whole list of government Bitcoin holdings by country: United States, China, United Kingdom, Ukraine, Bhutan, El Salvador, Venezuela, Finland, Georgia. These are all the countries that are already accumulating Bitcoin to date. And many more. It will continue to grow with time. You can see Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund discloses 408 million investment in BlackRock Spot ETF, Bitcoin ETF. Also, you see Russia Central Bank is ranking Bitcoin as the top performing asset in April 2025. This is it. This is what Russia's bank is saying. Then you also see, moving on to institutional interest, you see UK public company Consilium Group raised £1.25 million to adopt a Bitcoin treasury strategy. And you can see eToro is also reporting that they started buying Bitcoin for their treasury at $5 and made 50 million. Everybody accumulating. This is actually the latest strategy for a lot of companies, a lot of public listed companies, and even not public, privately held companies will start to put Bitcoin on their balance sheets. We are just at the beginning stages of all of this, and all of this will just continue to grow. Of course, all of this will be good for the Bitcoin price, and it will skyrocket user adoption and much more acceptance of what we term as digital gold. Let's just listen to eToro's CEO what he has to say.
First of all, we were very early on to crypto. I started buying Bitcoin at $5 for eToro's treasury. We were the first regulated company in Europe to launch cryptocurrency trading at $5. $5? $50,000 became $50 million before my board told me I have to sell it. It's not our business. Vitalik, the founder of Ethereum, actually was in our offices before Ethereum. Maybe. But really an amazing experience seeing crypto from where it was to what it is today. I think nobody doubts that crypto is here to stay. It's a new type of capital markets thriving around the world. Outside the US, we have more than 130 different crypto assets trading. But nonetheless, we are passionate about capital markets and the stock markets. So at a dinner with Warren Buffett, he actually convinced me to focus more on stocks and less on crypto. But we love both. Last year, 25% of our revenues were crypto, and 75% were stock markets. Our customers from all around the world buying stocks from more than 20 different stock markets.
Crypto is just to say, he says the same thing, echoing what Brian Armstrong has said earlier. You see, PayPal also is planning and working towards to be the gateway for Bitcoin and crypto adoption with three main goals. Let's just listen to the three main goals.
We are trying to do. We're trying to do three things. We're trying to make sure that PayPal and Venmo are the gateway product to get more people into crypto. We are very aware that the uniqueness of what we have is 400 million consumers and merchants and the distribution access. A lot of people that we have on the crypto side are first-time crypto users. There's a lot of people who are saying, hey, I'm intrigued by Bitcoin or ETH. I'm going to put $100 in it. I don't know the other companies in the sector, but I know PayPal. I trust it. So a lot of people get into crypto through us, and that leads us to continue to add tokens. We added Sol and Link recently. We'll continue to add stuff. So making the PayPal Venmo wallet a mainstream destination is an important one. The other two are mostly about stablecoin for payments. So it's important for us that our stablecoin is available everywhere. Crypto capital markets are one place, and we think that it's important that there is competition in stablecoins, and that's why we are doing work with Coinbase and others. And the third one that has to goes back to the legislation is we want hundreds of millions of wallets, hundreds of millions of people carrying stablecoins in their wallets to pay. And to provide that security, it is important that there is legislation in place. We are seeing that in the UK and Europe and Japan and Singapore. And being able to get to conclusion in the US will be a very, very important thing.
So you can see there are three main goals: get user adoption, get people more adopting and using crypto, get wallets in place through legislation, and also have stablecoins through their partnership with Coinbase. This is where we have been talking about and what we have been talking about. And JP Morgan is also saying Bitcoin could have outperformed gold in the second half of 2025. This is incredibly bullish when all these guys are saying all of this. You see again, Melus, another company in Brazil, has just become the first BTC treasury company from Brazil, stacking to 28.4 million Bitcoin. This is just bullish. Companies are going to be using this as a strategy to remain relevant and to realize profits to their board of directors. Bitcoin is the new gold and is the new reserve asset, is the new hard asset. It is a hard asset. You see, popular macro researcher and analyst Lin Alden is stating the more someone is knowledgeable on Bitcoin, the larger share of their network it ends up being, which is very, very true. All of us are keenly aware of this point.
A lot of right answers for how much Bitcoin you should have, but I think that if anyone who looks into it generally finds that the zero is not one of the right answers. So I think get off zero. There's some research that shows basically the more someone is knowledgeable about Bitcoin, the larger share of the net worth it ends up being. So my general view is that if there's a time where it makes sense for you to increase your holdings substantially, I'm not the one that tells you that. You're the one that figures it out for yourself and decides that your level of understanding or comfort with the asset has increased, and therefore a larger position might be right for you.
This is very, very true. All of us diving into this rabbit hole, the more we understand it, the more we start to investigate and do our research within this space, we get more and more interested. We get more sucked in because we understand the power of what we are doing. We understand that it's a hard asset. We understand it's our opportunity to realize generational wealth. We understand it is the gateway to the new financial system. That's why we are here. You are early to take advantage and make gigantic amounts of money. We also move ahead to macro analysis and macroeconomics. This week has been heavy with data. Powell gave a speech yesterday and pretty much some statements encapsulating everything he said in the speech was pretty much a period of low interest rate is not the baseline scenario for the foreseeable future. We've seen inflation come down without a major increase in unemployment, historically rare. The Fed will adjust its overall policy making framework. What is this? It's just trying to be in the middle and not trying to sound bullish, sound dovish, or sound hawkish at the same time. But it's trying to stay. So right now we still see the policy remains unchanged. We remain at the same levels at whatever it is. Although some people are predicting that we will see interest rates cut because Trump has been advocating and calling for Powell to cut interest rates because Japan, UK, almost everyone across the board is cutting interest rates apart from the US, and Trump has been hammering Powell to cut interest rates, but Powell is holding on steadfast, not doing what the president wants. So we'll see further activity on this in the near future and in the mid to near future rather, and that is quite something interesting that affects markets. But for us right now, we look at what is happening according to the price action, and we see that price action is holding steady relative to all of this news, the Coinbase Act, institutional interest, government interest, and macroeconomics picture. We also consider the geopolitical factor, which is also something to consider, but that is also seems to be de-escalating at the port, and a lot of talks are aligned for negotiation and detent on that front. So that is showing an overall economy, global economy, that is moving steady and creating an environment where the market is getting much more certain and people are much more risk on and prone to take more risk in the market. You can see that in the chart. Looking at just our final news analysis for today, you see ChatGPT it's been reported that ChatGPT now has more monthly users than Wikipedia. The reason I put this news headline is to indicate to us the incoming mindshare and narrative of AI, how AI is going to impact all of us, and how it's going to be part of the future. And us being in this space as traders, we should be able to spot narratives before it becomes mainstream. And AI is something that is going to become highly productive. It's going to become embedded in our everyday lives. We may as well make money off the swings, because right now a lot of AI companies are still building and still trying to take over the market mindshare. That is opportunity right there. And we are ready to take the volatility that comes with it, because there's a lot of money to be made. Just moving on to the crypto bubbles, you look at the overall crypto market, you see we are pretty much red across the board. A lot of tokens have been correcting, which is healthy for the market because we don't go up in a straight line. So you see a lot of red and just a few greens across the board. You look at the crypto fear and greed index, we seem to be at 71, higher than yesterday, but lower than last week's grid. But we still appear to be in the grid territory, which shows us a lot of people are much more prone to take risk and ready to speculate because of bullish narratives, bullish catalysts, and everything happening across the space and in the geopolitical and global economy. Looking at our charts, we look at XRP, a coin and a token that we are very, very interested in. It was reported, and I believe I reported it. They are signed with the Ministry of Finance in Dubai, and XRP is going to be used as a stable. XRP Ledger is going to be used as a stable coin blockchain for XRP Ledger, and a lot of payment rails are going to be based on the XRP Ledger. So this is quite bullish for XRP. This chart looks actually very, very bullish, and you can see we got rejected at the $2.5 dollar levels. We right now we got rejected there, and now we are at the $3 levels. So we'll be looking for a further support at the $2 levels. If we break that, we should be expecting a further support at $2.02 levels, and that should give us confirm our support. And once we hold that, we know a further upside is imminent in the near term. Looking at the RSI, we seem to be pointing down, and so we should be looking for further pullback to support. Looking at the volume, we seem to be lackluster. There's pretty much no volume, but this chart seems to be holding sideways, and we can see that this range seems to hold. There's a lot of trading done in this range, so this is healthy for the market, and it seems to be consolidating for a pull up to the upside in the near term. Looking at Ethereum, which is something to be interested, because Ethereum has suddenly turned bullish. We are above the 200 MA and the 50 MA, so that is very, very bullish. We seem to have gotten support above the 200 MA, so we remain around the $2,500 levels, and we seem to be holding that support. Once we continue to establish that as a short term, as a temporary support, we'll continue to consolidate around that price range, and we'll be looking for a further upside to the $2,900, $3,000 levels. So this is showing incredible bullish structure for Ethereum. Looking at the RSI, we seem to be pointing downward, and so we expect a more further support and just getting more comfortable with that support at $2,500 levels for us for further pullback, and we wait for what the price is going to be telling us. Then we just look at Kurosh speaking of trading and talking about Bitcoin, that Bitcoin got rejected off the range highs, which is confirming a range formation. So he's expecting a move to the range midpoint that hopefully we react with a higher low bounce. So he's expecting a range midpoint to be around $100,000 levels. This is something I've been speaking of before we get a bounce off that levels. This is something I've been speaking of. Bitcoin looks to be moving sideways, just similarly like yesterday, because we got rejected at the $105,000 levels. So we seem to have sold off yesterday, but that was bought very aggressively and very fast yesterday. As you can see with the candle on yesterday, we seem to have been bought back up, and we seem the bulls are back and are holding the price at $104,000 levels right now. So we look for what the price will be telling us. We look for the daily candle close for the end of today, and that will also give us confirmation of what will be happening this weekend. But I suspect we might just be remaining in the sideways movement in this range. We'll just continue to chop and chop within this range before we make any catalyst would be able to push either the price up or down. So whatever the case may be, like we have been anticipating, we are looking for a confirmation and a support of the $100,000 levels, and that will give us much more confidence to be able to take a trade either upwards. Once we say a confirmation of the $100,000 levels, then we should be looking to long the markets, at least to take profit around the $105,000 levels. Looking at the RSI, we seem to be inching upwards, but kind of sideways movements. So it is one of the other, and this just shows us continuation and consolidation of the current price structure. This is still bullish for the market in the mid to long term, so we still remain watchful and we remain sitting on our hands and watching the price and let the price come to us, and of course always managing our risk levels, because we are here to make money and not lose money. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and you follow me from zero to Ferrari. See you tomorrow for another daily market analysis. Goodbye.